We have the first big upset of this year's U.S. Open as Carlos Alcaraz, the betting favorite to win this year's U.S. Open, has been eliminated in the second round. What's going on, everybody? It's John Eric Polite coming at you guys fresh off of this big breaking news as tonight Carlos Alcaraz has been eliminated from this year's U.S. Open as he lost in straight sets to Botic van Zandschulp. Now, listen, guys, first off, before we get into Carlos Alcaraz here, just want to give Botic his credit because he played absolutely fantastic in this matchup. The way he served and volleyed, the way he held tough on break points, all of that, absolutely incredible. Especially the serve and volley, because you guys know if you watch Carlos Alcaraz play, it's so hard to do that against him. He is so good in those cat and mouse type points like that. And today, Botic just owned him on it. And you got to give him credit for it. Because, guys, a lot of times we see it in sports, right? If you're doing something well, the thing is, you should do that until your opponent is able to make an adjustment. We see a lot of times that people don't do that. Botic today knew he had an advantage there. He had success early with it, and he never took the foot off the gas. Got to give him credit there. But now let's talk about Carlos Alcaraz here, guys. Listen, we know why he was the big betting favorite here in this year's U.S. Open, right? He was the French Open champion this year, followed that up and won Wimbledon, and then was the Olympic silver medalist. Not to mention, guys, he's also won a U.S. Open in the past, and he had a great draw for this tournament. But none of that mattered today, guys. This just did not look right for Carlos Alcaraz from the moment this matchup started here. And you kind of wondered a little bit, because kind of coming into this U.S. Open, right, we saw him in Cincinnati. He looked awful, and he even said that was probably the worst tennis match that he's ever played in his career. Then he kind of had that thing where he rolled his ankle in the practices before the U.S. Open, and he kind of dismissed that. You wonder how much all this kind of all played itself in to Carlos Alcaraz. And one of the big things, guys, right, tennis, as much as we like to talk about the serves and the volleys and the break points and the backhands and the forehands and all that good stuff, it's a mental sport, really, at the end of the day. A big thing of these one-on-one sports comes to the mental aspect of it. And you have to wonder if Carlos Alcaraz was maybe burnt out because he played so much tennis over the last few months. Now, again, I gave Botic his credit. I'm not making an excuse for why he was the better guy on this day and anything like that. But you have to wonder what was going on with Carlos Alcaraz. This was a very disappointing performance from him. And listen, if there's anybody out there that was hoping he was going to win his third major championship of the year, unfortunately, we now know that is not going to be the case here. What's next for Carlos Alcaraz following this, guys? I think it's some much-deserved time off. Listen, he's going to be qualified for the ATP Finals later on in the year. I have no doubt about that. So if you're Carlos Alcaraz right now, much-needed break. He's played so much tennis this year. And then, guys, just one more time before I wrap things up, I just want to give Botic again the absolute credit. Played a fantastic match here today. So congratulations to him as he advances. And again, guys, just a big headline from this night as this night concluded this first round of round 2 here. Carlos Alcaraz eliminated from this year's U.S. Open.